In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
We're a band of brothers standing tall, bound by soil and the southern call. Through fields of gold, through fire and ash, we hold our ground, we'll never crash. Hurrah, hurrah, we raise it high, the bonny blue beneath the sky. Hurrah, hurrah, it shines afar, that bonny blue flag with its single star. Our rights were forged in honest hands. We plowed the fields, we worked the lands. When danger came, we made our stand. A simple star, a bold demand. Hurrah, hurrah, we raise it high, the bonny blue beneath the sky. Hurrah, hurrah, it shines afar, that bonny blue flag with its single star. Through stormy nights and battles grim, our anthem sung a sacred hymn. The star, it gleams, it lights the way for those who fight and those who stay. Hurrah, hurrah, we raise it high, the bonny blue beneath the sky. Hurrah, hurrah, it shines afar, that bonny blue flag with its single star.
Oh, yeah. The Bonnie Blue Flag. Compliments of one of my friends who's also my client. Thank you so very much for sending me that awesome, awesome, beautiful flag. I'm here for a couple of different reasons. And, these broadcasts are always fairly short, and they're always unexpected. One of these days, I'll actually sit down and say, you know what, Randy? Let's do a broadcast every day at this particular time, and I'll get on a schedule. Yeah, right. It'll never happen. No, but seriously, folks, this is going to be a little bit mixture of politics, personal likes, and some other things going on. So let's start with the politics first. Let's get that out of the way. Okay. Now, I know it's been a long time since I've been in church because I don't drive anymore. And the people in that church, they don't offer to pick us up and take us back and forth like a good Christian probably would. But that's neither here nor there. But we do watch, the church we used to go to online. They do a YouTube broadcast. And if someone's watching a show and if I misspeak or give incorrect information, please, correct me. So here it goes. If I'm not mistaken, back in the day of the Bible, I believe it went back to Abel and Cain and Abel, two brothers. And the one brother killed the other brother because he was jealous. Because God always accepted his sacrifice, whereas he didn't accept sacrifice to the other brother. So he killed him. So the way it worked is that as a murderer, he could have been found guilty and obviously been put to death. But back in the day, they created what they called sanctuary cities. So a person who did wrong would have to leave his home, his family, everything, and go live the rest of his life in this sanctuary city. And as long as he stayed in that city, he couldn't be touched for the crime from where he used to live. So here in our country today, the Democrats created what they call sanctuary cities, with the thought that criminals could go there and not be touched by the long arm of the police, of the law. They couldn't face judgment for the crime they created. But that's not the way our Constitution works. You commit a crime, you'll be found out, you'll be founded, you'll be brought back to the city, the state where you committed that crime, and you'll face judgment. But these Democrat-controlled cities have enough judicial power to hide these individuals in churches, in courthouses, in people's homes, and so forth, to try and protect them from legal judicial process. They don't care if they are pedophiles, murderers, rapists, criminals, looters, whatever. They don't care, which means they don't care about this innocent people living in their own city and state. And these same cities and states are trying to get rid of the police force. They want to live life as a crime. And that's bullshit. And I have to think that there's enough good people in those cities and states to fight it in the polls, to get these people who continue to pass these laws to protect the criminals. But as we have found out, they know how to juice the system and put in more votes than what are legally allowed. So we have men and women who are members of ICE, who voluntarily put their lives and their families' lives in jeopardy so they can go and arrest these criminals. The millions of criminals that the Biden administration allowed into our country and then spread them out throughout all the Democrat blue cities and states, hoping to protect them. So now we have to go find them. And they're being protected by the local police officers, the lawyers, the judges, the people in political office. Why? Because they want their votes. They don't care about the innocent person who might get raped and raped and raped again, or murdered, or their houses stolen from underneath them. People are afraid to go on vacation, to leave their home empty for a period of time, not knowing if they'll come back and find someone living in their house. And now because the damn laws passed in that particular city and state, they lost their house. My personal opinion, folks, my personal opinion, let them have their criminals. Let's pull our military out of the city. Let's pull our police officers, our ICE agents out of those cities. Let them deal with the crime, the murder, the rapes. Maybe at some point they'll figure it out that that's not the way people should live. Here we are as a nation trying to bring peace to around the world, and we don't even have it in our own Democrat-controlled cities. It's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. I do Instagram, and I follow different people, and I came across this one young lady because she's always sharing things about the military. And I reached out to her and I told her what I do for Red Shirt Fridays. And I asked her if I could use her videos, and she said, yes, I could. I had asked her to come on to be a guest so I can ask her, why are you doing this? Why is your love for the military? Instead, she did a video and she sent it to me. So I'm going to share part of it. I'm not going to share the whole thing. But she goes by the screen name of Country Girl Sophia 21137. So if you love the military like I do, and you want to support them in some respect, go to Instagram and find this young lady. And she up front tells you she does have a disability. But look beyond that. Look at this young lady's heart. She even tried to join the military and got unfortunately turned down because of medical reasons. So she found a new way to help support the military. So I'm going to share, like I said, a little bit of this video now, and then I'll talk to you about what's going on for this Thursday. So let me just bring this on here. Bring it in. Here we go. Here we go.
And friends, hang on tight because I will be explaining everything to you as to why I'm here in the first place. Feel free to ask any questions, state any concerns, or give complaints or compliments in the comments or in a direct message to me. With that being said, I'd like to start us off by saying a little quote that should ring true in any given situation. Don't pick a fight with the ones who try to help you. You wish you hadn't. This I can guarantee to be true. Don't hold back on your opinions, views, or beliefs, my friend, but keep in mind that this world's a giant race that has no end. Now, as you know, I have been singing ballads, cadences, and songs, reciting creeds, laments, and statements, doing shout-outs, tributes, and fan engagement questions, which are in my highlights, and finally, interacting with my fellow fans via direct message to ask about their day and ask a few questions about the military experience or other topics of their choice. Why have I done all of this? Fans and other people on the internet have asked me if I'm thinking of enlisting or even just to volunteer with the military. Legally, medically, I cannot. I have anemia, a cleft palate, have an enzyme deficiency, have fetal alcohol syndrome, am hearing impaired, have reactive attachment disorder, similar to autism, am uncontrollably underweight, and am visually impaired. I cannot volunteer because of my ever-changing work schedule at Chipotle. So yes, I do not memorize the ballads, cadences, creeds, songs, or statements. Instead, I read them off a cheat sheet because each individual content is a request from a follower, and I don't have the time to memorize their desired content. My uniforms aren't accurate, my salute isn't always immaculate, my marching might be out of line, my tune is sometimes off-key, and my commands are sometimes mixed up. My voice is not loud enough, and my purpose for being on here can be misinterpreted. I can understand completely why a lot of you are like, what the actual heck is she? And yes, sometimes I tend to look more masculine in my uniforms, or he, doing here, and why is she doing this stuff if she ain't ever served? Or something like that. The answers to everything above boil down into one small creed. Support our troops, defend America, and God bless everyone. Some folks.
There you go. Very sweet and simple. Support our troops and God bless everyone. So one thing I'm going to be doing is, as you know, Fridays is Red Shirt Friday. And with her permission, I'm going to use one of her videos along with my own salute to the military. She's a sweetheart. She's a young lady who just wants to try and show love and support for our troops. And hopefully, in some respect, I can help her in that endeavor. Now, the actual reason why I'm here today, again, obviously, this coming Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 o'clock Central, I believe it is. I will be once again here on live with Chris Edwards. His full name actually is James Chris Edwards. He goes by Chris. Chris wrote several books about William Quantrill. William Quantrill was a soldier in the Confederate Army. He then left the army to become like a ranger or a freelance soldier, if you will. And when he left, he asked all his friends to. He was an officer. He held the rank, I believe, of colonel. And when he left, he asked his some of the troops to come with him when they did. So he stayed close to his own home as far as his military endeavors. And just like the group I belong to, and I hold the rank of colonel, the Gray Ghost, General Mosby, he did a phenomenal success against the Union soldiers. And eventually, time ran out and it caught up to him. But when I first met Chris Edwards is when he saw one of my broadcasts promote Matthew Holmes' books, of which he has a new one coming out middle of February. And we'll be discussing that one later. But he saw the broadcasts and reached out to me, asked me if I would be willing to help promote his books. And I said, absolutely. Good morning or good afternoon, Mandy George. How you doing? Thank you for joining. You missed the first part of my broadcast, was a little bit political, talking about ICE, and then sharing the video of a young lady who is on Instagram, and she supports the troops, and she gave me permission to share some of her videos. So right now I'm talking about this upcoming Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern. It'll be about an hour long. I do have some video I'm going to be sharing with it. So when he first came to me and we agreed to meet and do promote his books, we started. I didn't know he had more than one book because I went to Amazon to find the books. The only one I saw was this one here. What really happened? Quantrill's raid on Lawrence, Kansas, revisiting the evidence. So what? Chris actually has, I believe, it's a master's degree in history. And he, years ago, came across a book by the name of William Quantrill, who, from a Yankee standpoint, wrote a book about William Quantrill. And for some reason, Chris said that doesn't sound like something he would do as far as the content of his book. So Chris went boots on the ground, if you will, feet on the ground, into all the historical buildings, the libraries, and so forth, to dig up the information for himself. He actually came across the same evidence that Connolly used to write his book, to find out that Connolly left out a lot of details that spoke highly of Quantrill. So he decided to set the record straight. Okay. So when I got this book, I thought, well, it doesn't say volume 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I thought this was it. Turns out this actually was his third book of the series that he wrote about William Quantrill. So we did our first broadcast about this. Went over very well. I had like 400 or 500 views, which is absolutely phenomenal for a broadcast of this nature. And he said, Randy, just so you know, I have other books about the same topic. So I went back to Amazon and found the other volumes. So this Thursday, we'll be discussing volume 1. William Quantrill, What History Doesn't Want You to Know, Beginnings to 1862. So what he did was he broke up Quantrill's life on the military escapades. Okay, but I actually also found a video on YouTube from the colonel who also owns Nuts and Tree Genealogy, and he actually did a video that absolutely mirrors volume 1. So I'll be sharing some of that video as well. And I did test it. Everything's, cross your fingers, everything went fine on my end as far as the test. So hopefully when I bring him on, there'll be no audio issues. But I do highly recommend that, if you are a supporter of the South and you want to know the truth, get these books that Chris Edwards wrote. Again, it's on Amazon under James C. Edwards. And get all the books because he wrote 4 books. So this is volume 1. You saw volume 3. Volume 2, which would be the following broadcast, What History Doesn't Want You to Know. The dates are 1863 to 1865, which was the end of his life. I have not read this one yet, so I have no idea what the content is. But as soon as I do, I'll leave you know. I already showed you volume 3. What he also wrote was like a tourist guide book in a way. Okay. You know how when you go on vacation, you go into a city of historical value, and there's all kinds of spots to go, and you would visit them, and you could buy those tour guide maps. Well, he wrote a book. I have not looked at this one yet either. This book actually goes step by step on the raid of Kansas, okay, along with the details, maps, and so forth. So this here will also be probably be 2 broadcasts because of the size of it, okay. He also wrote this book here. It's called Suppressed Evidence, Neglected Information About Confederate Colonel William Clark Quantrill. This is the evidence, okay, that he found to support, get rid of glare. There we go. To support William Quantrill. And the reason why he went into Kansas was simply revenge. Because the Union soldiers came into his town, burned it to the ground, raped, murdered, pillaged, and they wanted their revenge. Good morning, afternoon, Robin Brunson. How you doing? Oh, you're on your lunch break. Hey, at least I'm consistent, Robin, hitting you on your lunch break. How you doing? I've asked this question several times, and I have not yet got any answers back that I can see. And that is, I love doing these broadcasts, usually an hour long, and I know I'm on my own because I used to do broadcasts with somebody else, and we went our separate ways, and I believe it's going to stay that way now. But I want to do my own broadcasts. Primarily, I love doing history. Primarily, obviously, Confederacy. But I can do all kinds of stuff like the book reviews. So if you folks have any suggestions on what I could do for a broadcast, let me know. One of the things I want to try and stay away from, politics and religion. Those 2 topics are murder when it comes to friends and family. And I probably shouldn't use that word on Facebook. They don't like those kind of words. And it's horrendous because it splits your friends and your family. Because we all have our own personal beliefs. So I might touch base a little bit on current events, but I don't want to go into a deep detail of because who knows? I may have friends who don't support President Trump. I may have friends who do. I may have friends who believe in the Bible and others who don't. So by making a broadcast, unless you're directing to that audience, I try to stay away from it. And I know these flags behind me may be disturbing to some, but I do know that when I share my videos out, they all go out to Southern groups, which I'm admin of. And I'm very appreciative of allowing me to share, my conversation, my topics to those groups. Michael Hampton, how you doing, sir? I'm just here, kind of like blabbering about the ice, what's going on there, and the sanctuary city aspect, and talking about the upcoming Friday for Red Shirt Friday, as well as the upcoming Thursday broadcast concerning the interview with Chris Edwards and the book she wrote concerning Colonel William Quantrill. So I hope you folks come back on those particular days, 7:00 p.m. For the interview with Chris, and 11:00 a.m. For my Red Shirt Friday. I would appreciate that. And again, folks, if you want to be a part of this broadcast and you want to share your thoughts and so forth, please reach out to me and let me know. I guess, hey, did you guys survive all the snow? Thank God, my daughter lives with us still, and she's been out several days, at least a dozen times throughout the day, shoveling the snow away from our doorstep because, I don't drive anymore. So everything that we do gets delivered to the house. So we can't take the chance that someone might come to the house to make a delivery. Say, oh shit, there's snow here. I can't walk in that snow. I'll break my neck. And they just leave, and go away. So my daughter has been very, very supportive and clearing that snow. So Michael, Robin, Mandy, do you have anything you want to talk about? Because I think it came to the end of why I'm here, which was to to promote Chris Edwards and his books. You can get them on Amazon. I also had some bookmarks made to help support his books, similar to Matthew Holmes. This is a really bookmark. If you hear it, it's actually almost like a plastic, okay? But it has on here the books that he wrote, okay? And on the back, it has one more book, and then it has who he is and his biography. What does he call it? His background about who he is and his love for history. If you're interested in any of these bookmarks, let me know, and I'll send them out to you free of charge. Just give me, send me your name and address in Messenger, and I'll get you out a bookmark. But it's really very solid, cleanable, kind of thing. It helps get the word out about his books, and he's appreciative of that. And of course, please, go to Amazon and buy his books. They're very informative, very fact-based, with maps, images, and so forth that makes reading it very enjoyable. So let's see if I have any comments here. Oh, there's one other thing that I would like to talk about. How many out there, and also in the comment section, have Apple devices? And how many of you out there do the software update? How many of you like the updates? I used to. I do genealogy, and I have many devices. I have a beautiful setup here. Let me just show you folks again the setup I have. I have 3 monitors. Okay. A bunch of books for reference. So when I'm in the office, obviously I use the 3 monitors to spread out my information so I can be very efficient what I do. But when I'm away from my office, I have 2 iPads and a cell phone. Okay. Before the update, I used to be able to go to a particular, you can't see it, a particular person, okay? I'd be able to go to, like, find a grave, but then up here in the center, there used to be 3 dots. And I would press those 3 dots, and it splits the screen. So I can put ancestry here, find a grave, whatever, on the other side. So now what they did was, they have it up here in the corner. Hold on. They went away. They have it in the corner, 3 dots. And of course, they went away. But when you press those 3 dots, it's supposed to do the same thing as the other 3 dots in the center, which is split your screen. But it gives you a real narrow split screen, and you have to slide it back and forth to see. Yes. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do now, other than maybe have my cell phone and an iPad side by side. So that's all I have for you today. I mean, I don't really have a lot to talk about when I come under by myself. I would love to have someone else to bounce ideas off of. So if you want to be a part of my broadcast, let me know. And then we can discuss, the topics and have a conversation, bring people in. But otherwise, I'll just do what I do, which is, it's just one of my clients just found out I was working late last night. It's probably one of the reasons why I can't sleep anymore. I actually found out that one of my clients is related to Walt Disney. Yeah, pretty cool. Distant related, but nonetheless related to Walt Disney. And I've mentioned before on other broadcasts, the gene pool of our country is very minimal. Because you have to think, when people were coming here, okay, from primarily Europe, they came on board ships that took 6 months or longer to get here. And usually like 200, 250, 300 at a time. And for those who survived, and when they landed, they were sick. They died. They died from starvation. They died from the weather. They died from fighting off the natives who were already here. So they intermarried, okay? And it kept the gene pool very, very, very minimal. Also, a lot of times the wealthy and the royals came to New World, all this land, right? Free for the taking. And of course, they came here, they had their kids, and their kids married other kids, and so forth. So when you're doing genealogy, it's not too far from the imagination of finding folks who are related to royalty. Distantly, obviously. So like this gentleman here, he's related to Walt Disney. But there's a site called Famous Kin. So when you go in and type in a name, it'll tell you if that person has famous people in his DNA. Okay. So when I did Walt Disney, there's like over 200 famous people throughout the times that my client is also related to. Now again, distantly, not like an uncle, an aunt, or a cousin, second, third cousin, but distantly, but still related. Okay. So he was amazed when I found that. But even more amazed finding all the people that if I take the time to add in all the other people to make that connection, he's related to them. For example, royalty, kings, queens, Queen Elizabeth, all the King Charles, King Edwards, King Henrys, General Lee, and so forth, presidents, okay? So genealogy is a fun thing. It keeps me happy. It keeps me busy. Keeps my mind going, and I enjoy it. But I also like, doing other things. So when I find really neat things about my clients, I'll broadcast about them. bring in some videos, some music, whatever, and share that online to help show, what I'm capable of doing, but also showing the fun that my clients have when they realize who they are. One person you interacted with showed interest in this video, which tells me what? I got no idea. So someone showed interest. You gotta love those pop-ups. Like, what the hell is that supposed to mean? One person is interested in this video. I have no idea. Let me just see if I don't know. So I'll be spending some of my time today to figure out how to undo the software updates because of not being able to do what I used to do with my iPads. And if anybody here watching has any ideas on how to make it easier for me to figure it out, reach out to me. Because when it comes to electronics, I'm a little bit slow. I'm a little bit slow on that. That's why my daughter, tends to help me on those things. But anyways, look, folks, I know, Rob, you're on your lunch break. You're probably getting close to the end of your lunch break. I appreciate you being here and eating lunch while watching me. Again, this Thursday, 7 p.m., Chris Edwards, the author of 5 books. And I did ask him if he had any other books, but he said no. He only did these and they're all available on Amazon. Okay. So please be here Thursday, 7 p.m., Friday, 11 o'clock a.m. For Red Shirt Friday. And I'll be sharing that young lady's video and giving her support. I think it's awesome when you take in consideration how the left is distorting to the young people their hatred for our military and for our government, for our country. It's always a blessing to me to see a young person like her supporting our military, supporting the love for our country. There is still hope for us, One last thing. This supposedly is a year that Elon Musk is going to send rockets to Mars to see if they successfully land on the surface of Mars. And if they do, then he's going to, the following year, start sending, I believe, his robots to Mars to start building the colonies for Mars. This is also supposed to be the year that we get visited. People in Congress and those who've been trying to openly say, hey, yes, they're real, but we can't tell you about that. Yes, we've seen them, but we can't show you the videos. Yes, we have their bodies. Yes, we have their ships, but we can't show you because of secrets. So supposedly, this is the year. And if it is, wow. Hopefully they come in peace. There are experts on both sides of that thought line saying no, they're not coming in peace. I just hope that if they don't come in peace, we have the ability to fight back. And something tells me this is going to be a hell of a battle. Okay? So with that, I'm going to end it with some music. Towards the middle, I'm going to black out. Not black out, but blacken my screen. And then obviously end this broadcast. Thank you for being here today. Mandy, Robin, Michael, share the video out. Let people know about this coming Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And with that, here we go.
To live and die in Dixie, oh, what a sweet refrain. With trumpets wailing bright as the morning train, where the river hums a tune and the willows sway again.
Oh, the stars they twinkle like a slide trombone, and the saxophones croon of a land we call home.
Let us cross, oh, cross that shining stream, where the trees whisper soft in a dream. Rest in the shade where the good Lord decrees to live and die in Dixie. Oh, sweet memories.
The magnolias bloom with a sway so grand, like the swing of the bass in the Dixieland band, and the sun paints gold on the